See you later, alligator. Or is it, after a while, a crocodile? However you call it, even this South American caiman, they're all members of the Crocodilia order. It's a group that includes the gavial from India and Nepal, and the largest and most dangerous reptile of all, the giant saltwater crocodile. I'm Jack Hanna. Join me on Zoo Life to learn more about the animals of the world. I hope spiders.
If there's one thing the staff of the Columbus Zoo knows, it's to be prepared, because anything can happen when Jack shows up.
What do you want, Jack? Just playing around. No, I hear we had baby tarantulas.
Sure, would you like to see them?
Yeah.
Let's
Gosh,
go.
yeah. Everybody's got to like a spider. Oh, hold it. Let me get my defense mechanism here. You never go see a spider without a fly swatter. Spiders scare me. Now, how many spiders do you have in here?
Oh, in this building, Jack, we have over 100.
100 spiders?
Oh, sure, easily.
Woo-wee. What's this here now? This.
Jack, this is a Mexican red-legged tarantula. This is a male
You
tarantula.
gonna take him out of there?
Well, sure.
Hold on.
No problem.
Where's my fly swatter? Be careful, Dan.
No problem. Come here.
Ooh.
Here you go, Jack. You want to hold him?
No. Not right now.
You sure?
I'll hold this. I'm pretty brave. This right here is the shed. Is that
This
correct?
is the shed skin of this tarantula, right? And years ago, they used to grind this up, and that's what they made itching powder out of.
Itching powder?
Right. A lot of people
Golly.
come in contact with these have pretty bad allergic reaction just to the hair.
Now this is a female in here.
It's the female, and this is the male.
This is the male.
Right. And we can't keep them together because right after they mate, the female will eat the male. So here in the building, when we put the males with the females, we watch them very closely. And when mating is finished, we take the male away very quickly.
Wait a minute now. They breed. And
Right.
she's going to kill him?
She's going to devour him,
This thing inside here is a lot bigger than this thing.
almost twice the size.
Well, guy hadn't got a chance. No wonder he doesn't want to go out on a date.
Right.
Forget it. Now, Dan, after they breed, what happens?
After mating, the female will find a burrow. In the burrow, she'll lay her eggs, surround the eggs with webbing, and the burrow with webbing. And she'll stay with the eggs until they hatch. Basically, what she's doing is making a cocoon, a very sterile environment for her eggs to hatch.
How long will she stay there from the time she starts till it ends?
Well, at least 2 or 3 months, Jack, for the eggs to hatch.
Does she eat?
She won't eat or anything. She might come out and get a little bit to drink.
What happens if I put my hand up there?
You just crawl right on your hand.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
You gonna grab him if he doesn't?
I will.
Dan, if he bites me,
No problem, Jack.
you'll be working in the worse than the reptile house if he bites me. God,
No problem.
Dan, I think he's gonna do something. Oh, Dan. Oh, Dan. Put your hand up there, Dan. Get him off of me. Don't make him nervous. Don't push him too hard. Let's get him back. Name's John.
Yeah, it says right on the lid, John.
Okay, John, back in the box, buddy. Some animals, through no fault of their own, have a nasty reputation. And many of these are favorites of mine, like the hyena, the vulture, and the cockroach. But the animal with the most fearsome reputation of them all is the vampire bat. And here at the Philadelphia Zoo, they have 11 of these animals.
bat myth that I hear the most often is that the bats are going to attack me, because I have to actually go in the cage with the bats to feed them, and so people are always positive that they're going to lunge and go right for my throat and that I'm going to be slaughtered on the spot.
Famous for their unique liquid diet, vampire bats come from the forest of Central and South America. Keeper Kim Troutman serves them supper every afternoon.
The bats don't come down to feed right away. They wait till I close the door until I'm out of the area. And then when they feel secure and they feel like there's no threat to them, then they fly to the cage floor and they crawl up to the dishes of blood and they just lick it out as a dog would lick water from a bowl.
But it's not just a matter of first come, first served.
There is kind of a hierarchy or an order in which they feed, and certain bats who are more dominant or stronger than the others, they get to feed first, and they keep the other bats away from the bowl until they're finished.
Vampire bats drink their own weight in blood every night. In the wild, the bat's most frequent victim is a cow or horse, but every once in a while, they'll try their luck on humans.
Usually this happens at nighttime when people are camping out in the rainforest or the jungle, and they usually have some part of their body exposed, sticking out of the tent or out of a sleeping bag, and the bat simply lands on that part of the body and makes a quick cut or a quick bite, takes a little bit of skin out, and the skin wound will bleed and they'll drink from the blood.
They don't sound like animals I'd want to hang around with, but they are extraordinary creatures, and in the wild are an important part of the rainforest ecosystem.
I think I like the vampire bat so much because it has such a poor reputation, and it's really undeserved. They really are not evil creatures, and I've been able to see that they're just animals like other animals, and they're doing their thing, and that's how they live.
Like a lot of progressive zoos these days, the Philadelphia Zoo prides itself in its hard work in study and breeding of wild animals. And here at the Penrose Laboratory, researchers have made an astounding breakthrough. They recently discovered that by playing rock and roll music 24 hours a day to naked mole rats, they seem to breed better. Well, I like rock and roll music, but I gotta see this to believe it.
They look a lot like a hot dog with teeth. They look like the fetal stage of another animal. They look like rodents that have been shaven.
Naked mole rats don't look like other mammals, and they sure don't act like them either. Just ask Dave Wood, an assistant curator who left his work with elephants to pursue the challenge of breeding mole rats.
The naked mole rats are like insects, or have a social structure like insects, where they're all descendants from a single breeding female, which is known as the queen. The rest of the colony serves as workers and soldiers and may never have the opportunity to breed themselves in their lifespan. The queens basically give birth, they patrol around the system, they are very dominant over the other animals. If another animal happens to get in the way and doesn't move quick enough, the queen will push them out of the way. The workers and soldiers actually move the pups and keep them pretty much piled up in a nest chamber.
Dave, I noticed he tried to bite you. Look at the teeth on those things. Wow. What do they do with those long teeth? What's the purpose?
Well, it's not so much for feeding, but they burrow, and where they come from in Somalia, Ethiopia, and Kenya, it's very semi-arid climate where the soil substrate can be like concrete, except for the rare rainy periods. And the teeth are used mostly for expanding their burrow system and new food sources.
They don't have any hair. What do they do about the cold?
They come from more desert-type terrain where it's warm during the day, but very cool at night. They've evolved where their burrow system maintains a constant 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
What's with this music?
Well, one of the problems with breeding the mole rats in captivity is they're very sensitive to sound and vibration. And in captivity, it's impossible to isolate them from total sound and vibration. So what we decided to do was flood them with sound. And we've had success with breeding the mole rats in this environment because little noises don't upset them any longer.
Can you hold him up? It doesn't look like he has any eyes.
Well, they're basically blind. They do sense light changes in the room, but other than that, they can't even tell when another mole rat's in front of them in the burrow system.
These things are so unique. I've never seen anything like it in any zoo I've ever been to.
Well, they've been very difficult to breed in captivity, and there's only 3 other zoos in North America that have them at present.
They just don't breed.
No, well, we're getting better with them.
Sure, maybe Columbus can breed them.
Well, Jack, you can't take the mole rat, Jack. Zach, you can't take it.
Tasmanian devils are a small carnivorous animal with a big public relations problem. By nature, they are solitary and territorial, which means that any other animals that come around, including other Tasmanian devils, will be threatened. But it can't be helped. That's its nature. And the kids that visit here seem to understand that.
Children really like them. Of course, there's a lot of exposure to Tasmanian devils due to cartoons and Bugs Bunny and so forth. They got the name Tasmanian devil, first of all, because they're from the island of Tasmania. When settlers first came to Australia and heard this sound out in the bush, they thought it was the devil or demons, hence the name.
Because of their delicate temperament, only one of the zoo's 6 devils can be on exhibit at a time. The rest are kept behind the scenes, in enclosures specially built to prevent them from chewing their way out.
Their jaws are quite powerful. They have very large teeth and can bite through, for example, they can bite through the largest bone in a kangaroo's body, which is about the same size as my leg.
This zoo is the only one in the country with a breeding program for these animals. But making babies here is a lot more complicated than just introducing a couple and allowing nature to take its course. The animals have to like each other.
It's simply a matter of opening all the doors, giving them as much room as possible to get away from each other. And then we just stand back and watch. If the fighting gets too intense, then we'll go in and split them up.
From the very start, it looked like the male made a good impression.
This year, we saw the appropriate submissive behavior on the part of the male. The female almost immediately established dominance. And now we'll leave them together as they are for about a month. The gestation period is 30 days, so that should give them enough time to mate and her to be well on the way to giving birth to the joey.
Tasmanian devils have a short lifespan of only 5 years, so keepers here are anxious that the breeding program becomes a success as soon as possible. And how do the animals feel about all this? In their own way, they seem to be pretty enthusiastic. The parade of diverse animals continues at the Denver Zoo with these fascinating warthogs from Africa. These warthogs out here have been made. Right here at the entrance of the beautiful Denver Zoo, you have warthogs. Ziggy and her 2 babies might not have much competition from Miss Piggy in the beauty department, but they've certainly captured the affections of Sharon Areen. Sharon, what's it like when you tell people you're the keeper of warthogs?
Yeah, they're so ugly. But when I tell them about them, once they see them, they understand how much I love them, and they're just so entertaining. They know when it's feeding time. They know my voice, and they came running. They respond very well. Yeah.
Let's see if it works.
Okay, Ziggy, Zig, Zachary, come on, hey girl,
They know your voice.
come on, Zachary, come on, Hazel.
What's that you feed them?
Yeah, these are yams. They like this probably more than anything else right now. Sweet potatoes.
Oh, yeah. Why do they call them warthogs?
On their faces, you'll see the.
Oh, I see those crazy eyes here, those
Right,
warts.
right on their eyes,
So now, this mother and the 2 babies, how old are the babies?
They're about 4 months old now, and they grew really fast, a great rate. The first day they were born, they were the size of her snout.
Now, why do they get on their knees to eat?
If you look at them, they're very long-legged for this kind of animal, and they eat things like roots and things on or under the ground, and so they have to kneel down to reach it.
How intelligent do you think a warthog is? Like other pigs, pretty intelligent?
They've outfought me a few times, that's for sure.
Now, they can be very dangerous, though. I mean, have keepers almost been killed by them?
Yeah, I have heard of keepers that have indeed been killed by them. Once they knock you down, they just, they kill you pretty much instantly. If there's tough, they can get you out real quick. So you have to be very careful. You have to remember that when you're out working with them and not take it for granted that they're just little pigs.
Well, do you think the Denver Zoo is really hog heaven for these animals?
Yes. They, as they say, live high on the hog here. All kinds of food and pampering and sunshine and good people to work with, yeah.